Hi.
Hi. That's so funny. Maybe I should actually sit up here.
Boo. Boo.
All right, Jaquan. Well, we're here.
We are here.
We are here. By the time people have seen this, well, we may be still a couple days out from your short film premiering. How are you feeling a week? Well, less than a week ahead.
I'm ready to get over it now.
It's so funny. It's interesting. Well, I have a question. How do you feel about this film versus the last one you did?
As far as what?
Just as far as like your feelings before the screening, like your last one was the first time you did it.
Yeah.
Is this time you're a little more like, I'm ready to get over it because you're not that nervous type of thing?
I don't think. Well, I wasn't nervous about the last one until like the day of, and like this one, I think I'm less nervous now, cause like with last one last year,
Yeah.
I had like the whole RSVP thing going on. I didn't do that for this one, cause I would have kept looking at the numbers and names and stuff.
I see.
And to avoid that added stress, I didn't do it. I just made a event page on Facebook.
And then like if you come, you come.
Yeah.
Cool.
Luckily, I don't even get notifications for it.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah. So you gonna show up not knowing who's gonna come anyway. Right?
Yep. I mean, some people told me they were coming, but other than that, we gonna see.
Okay, nice. I mean, I think this is maybe, I don't want to say extra special, but it's different because, your last film was, I don't think you were necessarily, like you as a character or you yourself wasn't necessarily in it, like your hand was in it.
Mm-hmm.
But at this one, you are literally the star of the show. So I don't know if that is some added sort of thing,
It's not.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, like when resources are limited, you kind of gotta do it all.
Just get it done.
Just get it done. And, sometimes, we have ideas and we be waiting for stuff to happen, waiting for the stars to align. Well, sometimes, you just gotta place them stars yourself.
I agree. But with that being said, do you think, knowing like what I know about the script and stuff, I mean, is this film written for anybody else but you? Like, I feel like this is a conversation like kind of with yourself. Could somebody else do it, you think?
Could somebody else do it? Sure. I think the thing is about making stuff, it's hard to trust people with executing your vision.
Yeah.
So even if I had somebody else to do it, I don't even know if I would have taken my hands off the steering wheel per se.
Even in like the acting aspect. Like
Yeah.
Being in front of,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something like super, like I said, it feels like a personal note in a lot of ways, simply because like the dialogue is sort of like, people who see the film will understand a little bit more about just like the voices in your head, but also just like the voice that you're speaking to, like who you believe in, God, like that sort of, I feel like this is all things that, you're probably in constant conversation with about yourself, and the people who are watching are probably in constant conversation about. So I think it's nice I think there's like some narrative magic that happens with the director actually being the person in front of the screen as well. Like that has its own feeling about it.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing about it.
Yeah. Most of the stuff I make is, I mean, I'm sure it resonates with people, but it is like for myself. The stuff I want to see, the stuff I need help understanding. So working my way through it, I guess.
Yeah. The piece that you put out on Instagram.
Which one?
The black and white one. There's a scene of you sort of like, it's all white, you're in the shower sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That feels almost like a preamble to this a little bit. What do you think?
I'll have to watch it again. I forgot I did that.
Yeah, I know, because
I
mean, not because like we forget. I think we just forget stuff when we just do stuff. But I was thinking about like, oh yeah, this is Jaquan's first narrative thing. I was like, that's not technically true. I would count that as one.
Okay, that one does count.
Yeah.
I actually, I shot that after this.
Yeah, which is I was going to get to next, but like this is coming after. But you kind of just shot that and put it out. Like, was there like a
Yeah, I
like
just shot and put that out.
Yeah, were you kind of anxious? What do you think, or what do you?
No, I needed to make something to get my mind off of this one.
Oh, I see. It was like procrastination, but like productive. Like,
Yeah, because I didn't like it. I didn't like this, so I made something else.
yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. At the time of production, I didn't like it.
And then you sort of, I guess, come around is a good way of putting it. But
Yeah.
do you think that? I mean, maybe you could speak more about it generally. You could talk about it with the film too, but just about how maybe one stepping away allows for like some clarity about the work, but also how I always say that you make a film 3 times when you do one. You write it and that's one time. You shoot it, that's another time, and you edit it, which is just like maybe talk about like the difference and how you felt at each stage.
Writing it. That was like, what was going on? That was in like, I think that was in the span of like a day or two from idea to actually writing it out. There was some level of excitement. Well, there was some excitement writing it. Because like I said, I'm trying to work through this narrative in real life. So I didn't even find any resolve because, actually, let me not say that. I don't want to spoil it. But I think my questions got more intense with less answers as writing it, and then filming it. That was a rough 3 hours.
That was one of the harder 3 hours I think I've experienced. Like, I mean, I know it's harder for you to be like being in front, also having to manage like. I feel like as we shoot, we're kind of editing in our head.
Yeah.
So there's that going on. You're also like doing a take, and then by the time you do the take, it's like, oh, this is actually not a good take. I gotta redo the take. You gotta jump into different modes. So like, maybe talk about that feeling that day doing it. What did you learn coming out of it?
I think the biggest thing that I learned was I'm able to get it done. Because we did it real bare bones. Like, we didn't really have any light. We used all practical lights and just shaped that. Everything was just us two.
I mean, and even speaking just a little bit about that, even that didn't make it that much easier. I feel like I think it was still hard. Like,
it was still hard.
It's not like I mean, there was less things we had to walk around, but it was we still kind of had to wait, figure out. You know, like you have to kind of think through, like, how do I actually want to do this? Like, and some of the, I think some of your ideas, again, you can speak more to this, may have been planned, but then when you're in the moment, they change. Like, you know.
Yeah, I had a lot of plans, a lot of ideas, and also I learned I gotta in terms of writing, the way I format the ideas, so I don't get lost in them. Yeah. Because there was one, I don't want to spoil it, but there was one idea. I mean, I fixed it in post, thank God, but there was one idea that I put at the end of the script, so I never looked at it as we were shooting.
And you kind of had to, which makes me like think about wanting to hear you just talk about, you know, the first time you picked up a camera and like finding any sort of creativity with like what you didn't have, like the constraints. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you remember like your first camera, and like, do you ever look back at those images, and do you ever kind of like compare them to now? Like, do you find there's like a through line between them at all? Or?
My first camera was like a disposable camera in 5th grade. When I went to a school trip to Washington, D.C. And Mom, if you're watching this, you never developed my pictures. So I never saw them. That was in 5th grade.
Okay.
All right, my first actual camera that I actually saw the pictures of, we just gonna jump to 2010, 2011. That really wasn't even my first camera. My mom had a little digital point and shoot camera, and I think one of the earliest pictures I remember is we were at some water park, I think, of my brother playing in the fountain.
Mm.
And then after that, it's a bunch of church pictures I took. And yeah, I look at those pictures fairly often.
Mm.
And I think those compared to now, back then, there was no intention.
Oh, yeah. You're just shooting.
Yeah, I was just, like, I kind of knew what I wanted to shoot, but in terms of how to do it, nothing, no factoring in any of that. Just pointing the camera and hoping for the best.
Mm.
And I think now it's a lot more intention, and like I know how to get what I want
Yeah.
if it's controllable.
Yeah. Within reason, within the resources you have.
And now I prefer constraints.
Yeah, versus like having everything to.
Yeah, I don't need all the extra stuff. I don't need all the resources. Just give me a camera and I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah. There's some beauty in that as well. I love that. Something that hit me as I was thinking about the film earlier in the week, preparing for trying to do this, I was thinking about how for most of your life, and I want to know if this connects to you all personally as well, but I think creatively from what I can see, for most of your life, you have been documenting church. I think you are transitioning into making films about church. Can you talk about the difference in those two? And also, does that line up with how you're growing as a person? Like, are you seeing or feeling something different that's maybe pushing you towards maybe making films about the church rather than documenting it?
I think as I become more intentional with my relationship with church and God in general, I think that's where this is coming from. It's like figuring it out from the inside out. Like instead of seeing what's going on, trying to figure out why this is happening or why is this being done. This is just a big why or what if every day pretty much.
Yeah. I think it's like you're interrogating the like you and how you sort of like move about with your faith. Yeah, I think again versus like again your last film. I mean, would you call that more documentation? I mean, I do think you were kind of compiling and curating, but how do you kind of see it? I mean,
I think that one does fall in line with this interrogation.
Okay.
Cause even now, like a little over a year later, I still see like a lot of generational divide. That was the focus of the last one, by the way.
Yeah.
Bridging the gap between generations in the church. I still see a lot of that generational gap, and it's maybe I'm not paying enough attention, but it looks like it's broadening, or it's taking on a new form of division. Yeah, or let me say separation, not division.
Yeah. And it's like a barbell. Like more people, there's less middle and more on sort of each side. And I mean, I do think that what it is you're doing here, not to like try to put you on one side or the other, but I do think it's one of the first things I've seen where people are able to watch somebody interrogated through narrative in this way. I'm not sure if I've seen much of that. I mean, we talk all the time. I mean, we made that, there's a lot of films out there about faith that aren't necessarily what it is you're trying to do. Can you say more
I
about
haven't
that?
seen. I think there's only one I've seen, and I don't remember the name of it right now. I just know it is directed by Scorsese, starring Adam Driver, and I think that's the only one I've seen that did what I'm attempting to do, which is it's not faith based, but it's about faith. I think, in all due respect to these gentlemen, I don't remember their names, not because I don't want to remember, but my memory's bad. But they are the most prominent producers of Christian films, and they all have this cookie cutter narrative of like, it's more so like the intro to faith. It's like a Christianity 101 type
Yeah.
thing.
It's like Hallmark faith. Like,
Hallmark, Lifetime.
yeah.
Yeah, is I think a lot of people don't want to show that not so nice part of faith because it gets I think if people feel like if they show that they're struggling with their faith, that means they don't believe at all, and they don't want to portray that message. But I feel like more people would be inclined to get involved if you show them all sides of it.
Yeah, and opening the door to like, you're welcome, even if you're struggling, even if you're dealing with something that
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think your last film, not to cut you off, but I think your last film spoke to that. Again, it was part of the divide, I think, too, of just like, I don't know, you can speak to that actually. I would love to hear your thoughts, because I feel like on one end there was like the generational gap, but then sometimes it felt like an ideology gap, or like not necessarily dealing with the book necessarily, but just like what people are used to seeing in church or used to experiencing. I'm thinking about the clip of the gentleman talking about, sometimes, God sends people who you least expect to deliver the message. Like, maybe you say more about that.
That might be a cultural issue. I think when we do something or see something for so long, we kind of get set in our ways. And anything that looks slightly different, we reject naturally. But I think if we took the time to explore the Bible more, we see like there were diverse means to get to the same end. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think now, especially now, I mean, what it is you're doing with this and what you plan on doing, if you want to give, us more about what you're thinking about long term, I'm excited about it. One, I get like sort of a front row seat to watching it, but
You've seen it already.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I'm saying like as far as like your attempt at just like trying to make films about your faith, but also just films that interrogate who you are as a person, and maybe in the future interrogate other ideas and stuff. I know some ideas that you're trying to attempt and work on. Maybe you just share more about what you see 5-10 years down the line, if as you continue on this path.
I will say, I think prior to, and I haven't seen anything else like this, that a lot of Christian or faith-based movies are made for Christians. Like if you aren't well versed in the religion, it's not really for you. Or people use it as like a means of propaganda to to get people in. And I just want to make good things that are good, rather it be film, rather it be whatever idea. I want them to be good, and for anybody can enjoy it. Anybody can take something away from it. That's essentially the long-term goal, at least in terms of the narrative stuff. In terms of the documentary stuff, I just want to highlight the things I feel like need highlighted and preserve those things. And that's essentially the plan for, I guess, until I run out of ideas.
Yeah, until the end, until it's time.
Yeah. And find proper funding.
Yeah. Again, back to constraints, working with what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like I always say, like, again, this is just stuff I want to see. I also think that just you as a filmmaker, sometimes I think this is a interviewer opinion, terrible idea, but I'll just say it and this will be it. But I do think sometimes people let their ideology get in front of their craft, and I think those two things can exist alongside each other. Like, just as strong as your faith is, you're also like an amazing filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? So I do think like there's something to be had there. Like, 1 + 1 will equal 2 in this instance. Like, I definitely think I'm excited to see what that looks like when somebody carries that with them, and also, like you said, knowing what you want and being able to recreate it, being able to do that with your faith. Like, I think that's going to be something
Yeah,
special.
I think a lot of people feel like it's either this or and not this and.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they both can exist.
They both can exist. And the things you're good at, gifted at, or whatever, those are vehicles for your ideologies. Rather we want to believe it or not, that's just the case. And I mean, I guess what better way to exercise your faith than make something with it or about it? Who knows?
Who knows? Well, listen, this has been beautiful. Short, quick, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
We got it done.
Done.
Any last words for the people who are going to go see it, and or the people who haven't seen it yet but may potentially have a chance to see it in the future?
Please come see it if you haven't seen it. Well, if you see this before the day, please come see it. If you see this after, if you guys want to see it, you can. I am willing to do another screening. That's not an issue. Yeah, and I'll even screen the one from last year.
Oh, nice.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. A little double feature.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vibe. Okay, beautiful. This is great. Yeah. One love. Hey. We did it.